You're listening to World of Empowerment Radio, your station for practical spirituality in a changing world. And here are your hosts, Aingeal Rose and Ahonu.
Hi, I am Ahonu, and you are very welcome back to our book study of the Book of Manifesting by Aingeal Rose. We are on session number 7, and in the previous session we covered the process of inquiry and the questionnaires. Mostly is what we covered in the last session. And the first questionnaire was about the general information about yourself. The second was your motivations, and the third questionnaire was all about fear and change. Well, now we're going to go into new script practice, and that's the one where we turn around all of those preconceived ideas and beliefs and change them into our desires. New script practice, it's called. Then we're going to go through some reinforcing statements, and then we will cover gratitude as a manifesting tool. So let us begin. New script practice. This part of the process is designed for you to recreate or reinvent yourself. It's a process of redirecting your power and energy deliberately and consciously to manifest a higher quality of life for yourself. It's what I call rewriting the script. We can only manifest according to the quality of our current vibration. If much of the content of your inner world has been focused on issues and blockages, you'll only be able to manifest more of the same. However, through answering the questionnaires in the previous chapter, your issues and blockages should have become apparent. Now you're in a position to make different decisions and reprogram your subconscious mind. So here's how to do it. Begin with an issue or a block that you have discovered from the questionnaires. Ask yourself, what would it be like if you were to redefine these issues or blocks into something positive? In other words, rewrite the script. Allow your imagination to have free rein. Make up the best possible scenario you can think of in full detail. You are effectively redefining your reality, giving it a new program that is pleasurable and enjoyable for you. At this stage, it doesn't matter if you totally believe in your new program. Your subconscious will still take it on board because you are directing it to do so. You can also redefine your associations with any words that have a negative meaning to you. For example, when I did this exercise, I found I had negative associations with the words responsibility and work. I decided to redefine those words to mean something fun, energizing, and enjoyable. And the sentence began like this. Work now means to me incredible joy, celebration, prosperity, liberation. Responsibility now means to me greater self-esteem, greater positive impact on the world and myself, energy, enjoyment and pleasure, meeting wonderful people and traveling the world. Here's another example. Let's say you found in the writing exercise that you have a negative association when it comes to authority figures. You need to redefine your association into something positive, because if you don't, you will never allow yourself to become a true adult. You will stay in a childlike place because most people's association with authority figures has to do with adults. If your association is negative, you will never want to become an adult. So your new definition could look something like this. Authority figures now mean to me a source of opportunity, expansion, and knowledge. Authority figures now and always show up to lead me to my highest good and fulfillment. Authority figures are now always positive, safe, and encouraging. They now and always build my self-confidence and open new doors for me. They now and always protect me when needed. I now allow myself to be the authority over my life. Being the authority over my life now brings me greater empowerment, success, enjoyment, prosperity, and exhilaration. It is now and always fun to be an adult. My creative imagination gets better and better, and I now use it for greater and greater expansion and success. So now, take this time to review the information you discovered from completing your questionnaires. Pick what you would like to redefine. You may redefine as many things as you like. Be especially conscious in your creations that you respect the free will of others. It's not okay to project your will onto specific people or situations without their consent. Remember, like attracts like. And you will experience the likeness of your consciousness if your motivations are not pure. It helps to use your power of decision and your imagination to create win-win situations for all concerned. Here's an example of a win-win creation. I was once hired for a job as a cashier in the gift area of a truck stop. Once there, I found I was on my feet all day for 8 hours. I definitely did not like the position. I had only been there 2 weeks and I already wanted to quit. I felt very guilty about this, as my boss's house had just burned down and his mother was sick. He had enough on his plate without me quitting on him. I was also concerned about having no job to replace this one, as our family needed the extra income. Still, I was not happy. I appealed to my higher guidance in writing as to what to do. My higher guidance came back asking me this question: what would a win-win look like to you? So I took my pen and paper and I answered that question. What I wanted was for the person who would be happy in my job to walk in and apply for it. That way, I wouldn't feel any guilt for leaving and we would all get what we wanted. My boss wouldn't have to look for a new employee, the new employee would love their new job, and I would be free to look elsewhere. Well, within 2 days, 3 people walked in and applied for my job. What did I do about a new job for myself? A job as an assistant manager for a new bookstore appeared in the paper. I got the job and I loved every minute of it. Why? Because I love books. How easy was that? I've also done this win-win process when I wanted a divorce. My husband at the time took my announcement pretty badly, but it presented a new opportunity for change. By that stage, there had been many chances to do things differently in our relationship, but there had been no progress. I came to the conclusion that we would be much happier being free of each other. Even though he didn't agree with me, I told him he'd find someone who he had more in common with and who he would love even more than he loved me. I set about making this blessing for him. I wrote a script that he would find someone who was compatible with, who he could love and enjoy his life with, and indeed, this is exactly what happened. A few chapters ago, I told you I would revisit the motivations questionnaire and show you what the rewrite of one of the scripts would look like. Here is a reminder of what the old script said. I desire my partner to be more communicative because I want him or her to be more intimate with me. I want to share more with my partner. I want my partner to care how I feel. I want my partner to know me better. I want my partner to be interested in what I have to say. I want to be listened to. I want to openly express my feelings. I would like my partner to change some things and behaviors. I want a more exciting life with my partner. Well, this is what the rewrite looks and sounds like. I now choose to have a partner in my life who enjoys communicating and interacting with me. My partner and I now share wonderful intimacy. We each now are grateful for one another, and we nurture and enjoy each other's company. My partner and I love listening to each other. Our lives together are now fun, positively exciting, filled with wonderful growth, creativity, and love. Did you notice what I didn't say in this exercise? I did not use a particular name. I did not say the name of my current partner. Instead, I made my desires open and free. I honoured the free will of my current partner to choose if he or she will be the partner I desire. If not, my desires will attract a new one. So now, you have made marvellous progress. And now you are ready to go into making statements that reinforce your desires and confirm your commitment to making your life a happy and fulfilling one. So let's go straight into reinforcing statements. Reinforcing statements. You will have seen in the last chapter that when redefining your life, it's important to use language that reinforces manifestations in the now. As you look and listen to these phrases, you'll notice the word now in every phrase. This is to give the direction to your subconscious that your words are statements of fact and are actualized already. Remember, your subconscious takes everything literally, and it has no perceptual filters of its own. It takes its direction from you. This is also an important exercise to do as you go about your daily life, because it will make you aware of how you use words when you think or speak. You can change the words you say, and thus the words you think, in any moment. Here's a story to illustrate exactly what I mean. I was on my way to an appointment one day, and I stepped into the elevator to get to the 5th floor. There was a smartly dressed young man in the elevator. He had nice shoes, his hair was styled, and he was wearing an expensive tailored woolen coat. The coat was too big for him. And I had the thought, nice coat, but it's too big for you. As soon as I had that thought, the young man began to fiddle with his coat and he became self-conscious. I recognized that my negative thought about his coat had weakened his self-confidence. So I said to myself, "Oh, sorry, actually, your coat looks great." As soon as I had this new thought, the young man stood up straight and tall, his confidence restored. I tell this story to make the point of being aware of what you're thinking and that your thoughts affect others. It also helps you become a conscious creator in the moment. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, you can redecide what to think or say and change entire scenarios around. Once you realize you are creating every moment, you will be a deliberate manifester and become an active chooser for your life and your circumstances. You will be having a daily conversation with your subconscious mind. And in any given moment, you can say to it, "No, wait, that's not what I meant. I meant blank, blank, blank," instead. Or, "That's not how I want this to be. I choose blank instead." So you get the idea. Catch yourself and change it in the moment. Here are some affirmative statements you can use in the redefining of your life. I am now enjoying my new, fulfilling, satisfying, and financially rewarding career. My communication with my partner is now completely open and honest. We now listen intently and we now understand one another's point of view. We now come to a practical and miraculous agreement that are win-win for us all the time. My heart is now open to give and receive love. I now allow myself to open to love's presence without fear of any kind. I am now happy and joyous each and every day. I now see beauty everywhere. I am now grateful for blank. I now accept the good that comes into my life each and every moment. I am now in the perfect place for my highest good. All my circumstances and relationships are now win-win situations. I am now truly fulfilled, positive, creative, and happy. I now declare that I am healthy and happy on all levels of my being. I have now forgiven myself, my past, and all others. So these previous examples show you how to preface new statements for your life. And the following list shows you other combinations of present moment statements that you can use. For example, I am. I am now. It is now. And these are just the beginnings of each sentence. I now have ... I now declare. I now command. I now believe. I now decide. I am now grateful. It is happening now. I appreciate that I now have. I am grateful that I am now. I will now. It will now. I am now experiencing. It is now done, and so it is. There are also words and phrases to avoid. I've listed these for you too. These words put the manifestation of your desires into a nebulous future with no certainty of manifesting. So avoid using statements like I can, I want, I should, I could, I would, it could, it will, I might, I'll try, I hope, maybe, soon, one day, when. In the next chapter, we will use gratitude as a manifesting tool. Gratitude as a manifesting tool. Another very powerful way to manifest your desires is to use gratitude as a tool. Gratitude is the process of giving thanks for things or for something in your life. To use gratitude to manifest, you give thanks for something that you may not have manifested yet. You will act as if your desires have already manifested and you're giving thanks for them. Here are some examples of powerful statements of gratitude that incorporate a desire as if it were already manifested. Change them around to suit your own circumstances or your own desires. I am now grateful for my wonderful new home on 7 acres of nourishing land. I am now grateful for the wonderful communication I have with my husband, wife, partner. I am now grateful for my fulfilling and lucrative career. I am now grateful for the ease at which I changed my life for the better. I am now grateful for my continuing good health. I am now grateful for the eternal love I keep experiencing in my life in myriads of wonderful ways. I am now grateful for my loving and loyal friends. I am now grateful for the new positive opportunities for growth and consciousness expansion that keeps showing up in my life. I am now grateful for my deeper connection to my own inner self. I'm also going to show you a way to create new timelines in your life. However, before you move on to that, please take the time to write your own statements of gratitude. Now, we've come to the end of this session, so it's a very good time to finish out the video and start writing those statements of gratitude for yourself. And do write them out before we go on to the next session. And don't stop with half a dozen or 10 or 20. Keep writing until you express everything you're grateful for in that moment. More things will come up the more you practice, and soon you will find your life will be truly blessed. So now let's look at creating new timelines. In the last chapter, I gave you a way to express your gratitude as a tool to manifest your desires. An advanced way to alter the future course of your life is to deliberately create new timelines for past events. Timelines are simply events that occur at different frequency bands. Let me repeat that. Timelines are simply events that occur at different frequency bands. There are many timelines operating right now that we're not aware of. We don't know about them because we're not tuned into the frequency on which they're occurring. Timelines are essentially other realities. Timelines and realities are just like frequency bands on a radio dial. You can select the ones you want. You won't always hear or see or be aware of those you don't yet resonate with. But as you grow in awareness, you will find yourself with the power to create many new timelines. Here's how it works. Let's say you've experienced something traumatic in your past, and you'd have come to conclusions and associations about those events, and those conclusions could continually be affecting your present life and, in that way, your future. You may have found them already from doing the exercises in the 3 questionnaires. And along with rewriting the script, there is a way to go back into a past memory and create a new event to run alongside the old event. By this, I mean you will create a new event with a different outcome to the same situation that you experienced. In my experience with the Akashic Records, I'm told that we can never really take out or erase an event that has already happened once it's in the Akashic field. But what you can do is you can create a new event for the same time period, thereby creating a different reality. By doing this, you have the opportunity to align yourself with the new event rather than the old one. You are bringing in a new, more positive frequency timeline for the same event. This changes your frequency to something higher that is no longer affected by the old scenario. Here's how to do it. Take yourself back into an old memory or a trauma of the past. As you remember it, change the events that were traumatic by using your imagination so the scenario turns out differently. Make the events turn out the way you wanted instead of how they happened. Change all the details, all the conversations, all the people involved to what you want. You are creating a new outcome in the same timeline in which the first event took place. And by doing this, you can now choose to align yourself to the new event rather than the old. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an event that actually happened in 3D and one that you created with your imagination. That's a powerful statement. Let me read that again. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an event that actually happened in 3D and one that you create with your imagination. Your subconscious mind registers all thought and images as real. By choosing the new timeline for your old event, you've created a very different conclusion or association. This is what your subconscious mind will now begin resonating with. This, in turn, will affect your present and your future because you will now be resonating to a positive association rather than a negative, traumatic one. The old traumatic pattern of association will no longer be the dominant frequency. Now that does bring us to the end of our session for this week. Next, when we come back, we will be creating new timelines. Yes, creating new timelines. It is indeed possible. So we look forward to seeing you for that session. Remember, you can get this entire course on the Book of Manifesting by going to worldofempowerment.com/courses/manifesting. And it is free also. So if you're checking in on this on a video on YouTube or on our podcast, make sure that you go and receive all the sessions by going to theworldofempowerment.com. So that brings us to the end of our session today. Much blessings from myself, Ahonu, and from Aingeal Rose.
You have been listening to Aingeal Rose and Ahonu on World of Empowerment Radio, your station for practical spirituality in a changing world.